Movies, TV, sports, flicks. Movies, TV, sports, flicks. Movies, TV, sports, flicks.
The Captain Talk Flicks.
Movies, TV, sports, flicks. Movies, TV, sports, flicks. Movies, TV, sports, flicks.
The Captain Talk Flicks.
Welcome to the Captain Talks Flicks podcast. I'm your host, the Captain Cortez, aka Mr. Love, and this is where we talk flicks. I welcome the podcast where me, the Captain, talks about movies, TV, sports, flicks, anything you see on the tube or screen. I like to give my unique perspective, because after 46 years of being on planet Earth, I've developed a unique perspective about these movies, TV, sports, and flicks. I think I tell you about it, because just maybe you care. And according to the stats, looks like you do care. I want to give a big shout out to Croatia. Got some plays over in Croatia this past week. Gracias, gratitude, Dodoraba. In Croatia, I heard about the Croatia Open. An elite tennis tournament over there right now, going on right now. They playing tennis, high-level athletes doing their thing in Croatia. So dope. Maybe I have to watch it on the tube. So yeah, that's very cool, very cool. So anyways, thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Gracias, gratitude. And just FYI, back day with School to Be a radio DJ, but I never got a job. I think I never got a job because I just didn't have the hunger. I wasn't hungry, bro. If I would have been hungry, that might have gave me the edge I needed to become a radio DJ. But I guess I wasn't. And it allowed me to become the greatest podcaster in the Matrix. Something to debate, might be true, might not be true, but I said it on the internet. So it's gotta be true, right? Because everything on the internet is facts, true, false, propaganda, fake news, the Matrix, G.I. Joe, the sun, the moon, the universe, the multiverse, underwater sea battles, Atari 2600, Nintendo Entertainment System. I don't know. I didn't make the internet. Ask the people that made the internet. So just when you're online, just be aware, just watch out. Anyways, I can remember all day, but it won't. Let's get right into the podcast. But first, a word from our sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, do you like to level up your brain? Do you like to level it up? Do you like to try to expand your mind? Well, I like to do that. And how I usually try to do that is through writing. Take a notebook, and I write a lot of different stuff in this notebook. I do that, try to level up my brain, learn new words, learn new concepts, try to boldly push this mind to new levels, new spaces. I do that through writing. So if you're like me and you like to write, we have a notebook for you for the Existing Fictions as a store. And on the cover of the notebook is a brain, and it says train this daily, right? To remind you to train your brain daily, to make sure you do the work daily to train your mind, expand your mind, go beyond. So if you want a notebook with a brain on it that says train this daily, so you can work on your writing, expanding ideas and concepts, and level up your mind, we'll put a link below to that notebook at the Existing Fictions as a store. So check out the link, I'll put it below. Now, let's get on with the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I am back once again. But you knew I wasn't going nowhere. I keep showing up like the postman. I keep showing up like Karl Malone. I keep showing up like the seasons. I keep showing up like the moon. I keep showing up like the sun. I keep showing up like your taxes. And I gotta keep coming back. Because this journey of trying to level up our mind and expand our brains through movies, TV, sports, and flicks, I'm on that journey, and let's go there. Let's roll, let's flow, let's do this. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just got done reading a newspaper. Like, bro, I've not read the newspaper like in years, probably like a decade. This morning, I started a new thing. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should know what's going on in the globe. Maybe I should read a newspaper. So I started reading a newspaper. That's not a real physical newspaper, do the digital newspaper. We'll try it out for a little bit, read this newspaper and see if we can know what's going on in the world. Because I'll be honest, I'm so focused on podcasts and dropping albums and exercise and meditation. Like sometimes, like I don't even know what's happening. I'm not really well versed in global things. So it's like, let's try to know a little bit more. So I just got done reading the newspaper. Yeah, very cool. And so now I'm ready. My mind is thought and looked at things going in the world. I'm ready to rock and roll and do this podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, what I want to talk about this week is that I've been watching movies, TV, sports for long periods of time. I watched them in all different decades, the 70s, The 80s, the 90s, 2010s, 2020s. I've been watching movies, TV, sports flicks for a long time. And just this past weekend, I was watching a movie from the 60s, I think late 60s. Yeah, late 60s. And I just, in that moment when watching the movie, I just kind of realized, like, after all this movie watching, all this TV watching, all this film of people doing stuff and talking and saying things and experiencing the drama, the cries, the emotions. It's like, you know what's very important to these films? A very important aspect that I think we may not really realize it. I know the experts will realize it, but the people, the laymen, may not really realize just how important the sound design is, the sounds, the score, the sound effects, the dialogue, the vocals, the words. I'll be honest, I'm thinking that this piece of the puzzle, this piece of the creation, may be the most important aspect of the film. I know it's strong to say, I mean, we got the film, we got the visuals, but I think the sound may be the most important. The sound may be the make or break whether your film is a masterpiece and success. I watched this film over the weekend. It was a cool film, I enjoyed it, it was a spy flick, but the music, the score, I just felt if it would just had a little bit better score and music to it, it would have just been more appealing to me. But I know it's the sound of the time. So during certain eras, certain times, the sound sounds a certain way. It's part of it. But what's very interesting about it is like the visuals were so clear and crisp that if you just would have took a modern soundtrack, modern sound design to add it to this, it would have just changed the whole feel of the movie. So I'm gonna go rewatch some older stuff with these older sounds and effects and scores, and just listen and watch and think like, well, if you just took these movies and changed the score and the sounds a bit, does it change the whole vibe of the movie? Does it make it worse? Does it make it better? You know, I thought it'd be very interesting if you would take older movies, some expert, remove all the old sound elements and then redo them in a new, like remix them. You know how people will remix songs, right? Okay, you know how people remix songs? Like remix movies. I don't think there's a such thing, but like imagine if there's a whole new space and they're just called like remixes, right? Remasters, re-edit, I don't know what you call it, but I'll just call it a remix because I can't think of a better term. And so a whole new genre of movies where the companies could take these old movies that have classics, not classics, whatever, and then just redo the sound of them, right? You leave the visuals the same way they are, but just redo all the sound design, the score, the effects, the vocals, everything, and just remix them and then put them out again and see what happens, right? I don't think anyone's doing this. Maybe they can't because of legal reasons or ownership reasons or whatever, but I'm pretty sure no one is doing this. No one, right? I think someone should try that. I think some movie company or some company that owns movies say, we're going to start doing movies and we're going to remix them. Now, I know a lot of people will hate it. They're like, oh my gosh, you can't wreck this classic. But it's not about wrecking the classic. It's about taking something that's already been done and reinterpreting it, right? Now, you know, you got reboots. You got reimaginings, right? This is just a whole new way of doing things with older properties, right? I think it'd be so cool. Am I the only one that thinks this? Has it already been done? Maybe it's already been done. I can't be the first person to think this. I'm sure maybe people do this for pleasure, maybe. Maybe there's some YouTube videos that do this. But I'm talking to companies say, bro, we got a whole new way of doing things. We're going to take this old movie we got. We're going to spend a little bit more money on it. We're going to redo all the sound. We just redo it, modernize it, or new interpretations of it, and then re-release the film. It's done with the visuals all the time, right? You've seen how the Justice League was all made all black and white, right? Okay, that's cool. But let's just do the sound part of it. It's almost like the sound remix. I don't even know what you call it. I don't even think it exists. But I think it's just a good idea. I'll be honest, a lot of the movies, the vibes, no disrespect, but there's been no brand new energy, brand new life, new ideas. Okay, I'm reading this book called Blue Ocean Strategy, right? And it's about like just going places, creatively ideas that no one's going. In companies out there, if you happen to hear this podcast, I don't think nobody's doing this. And maybe it sounds crazy. Maybe it sounds absolutely crazy. Like, what are you talking about? It can't be done. I'm sure it can be done with all the technical wizardry we have, all the technology wizardry we have. I'm sure it can be done. But there's probably not a will to do it. Probably people are just like, Captain, you're crazy. We can't do that. Why can't you? Now, in this book, Blue Ocean Strategy I'm reading, it says that certain industries have certain rules and certain things they go by, and they're all playing in the same space. And they only can do what's within those boundaries, right? This particular idea is not within those boundaries. Maybe somebody should say, hey, bro, let's try it. Worst thing you can do is fail. Maybe take a couple movies, do some remixes, try to release them on Blu-ray or DVD or digital or stream it. I don't even know how you'd release them. You've got multiple ways to release movies, whole bunch. Try it, give it a shot. Somebody. I'm not in a position or have enough power or sway or whatever to make that happen. But I know there's people out there that could, right? Need new ideas? There you go. Let's do this. Let's make audio remixes to movies and release them, right? I know they're always trying to find new ways of repackaging and redoing old movies, director's cuts, 25th anniversary releases, new deleted scenes. Oh, get it, all that, right? Let's just expand our mind, go new places. Let's remix the audio, the score, the sound design. Let's do it and then drop them and see what happens. Somebody got to do it. Maybe. Am I dreaming? Am I crazy? I don't know. Who knows? But I like this idea. Somebody try it. So anyways, that's all I want to talk about this week. I was watching movies this weekend, old movies, got in some meditation, sat around thought, and then this idea just popped up. Maybe it's crazy. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Here with this podcast, we're about expanding minds, thinking bigger, greater, more, different, going different paths of thought. This is just one of those paths. Maybe it's absolute nonsense. Maybe professionals in the movie industry and students like, bro, you don't even know what you're talking about. You're just some crazy man. It's very possible. Maybe someone will hear this and go run with the idea. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy that podcast. But anyways, that's all I want to talk about. So thanks for listening. Gracias, gratitude. And until next time, we'll see you. Behind every successful man, there are usually a lot of unsuccessful years. Bob Brown. Until next time, it's Captain Peace.
The Captain Talks Flicks.